Okay, so today we're going to be doing is some scribing the flooring. As we're coming into the bow of the boat, we need to make these floorboards fit the hull. So what we're going to do is we're going to scribe those in. Not to be confused with subscribing, which is what you should do to this channel if you haven't already. Hey, we're back on the boat. One of the things that we haven't run into in a while, actually since we did the bulkhead in the very back, was lag screws that were drilled into the bulkhead. What these caused is some wicking of water into the wood that was at the top of the bulkhead, and got a little bit of rot. I mean, it's really not even. It's rot in the sense that it turns some of the wood black, but some of this wood is actually still strong enough to hold the problem. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do the same thing we did in the back. We're going to drill those out. We're going to replug them, fiberglass them in, and get this thing ready for the last large piece of flooring. This piece of flooring is actually going to be our first one that we're cutting for the front of the boat. So that's kind of exciting because we're almost done here. A couple other things that we're planning on doing is I'll show you here. Those two nuts on top of the U-bolt were all rusted out, so we went ahead. We got two new nuts. We're going to put those on. We got some fiberglassing to do in the front. We do have some repairs we have to make in the front as well. We have to take those steps off. But we're getting here. We have basically a full sheet, a half a sheet, and then just this front sheet here. So it's definitely getting there. This is what I'm talking about here, and this one is amazing that it's all the way this close to the edge. This was a hole for lag screw. We took the lag screws out; they didn't break on this one, and there's one down there. What we're going to do is we'll drill these out with the hole saw and plug them. So let's get to it. So you can kind of see here where that one went through. Wasn't even really into the wood. This one's a little darker over here. Yeah, this one's a little more rotted. You can see it's just coming out in pieces. So yeah, this one we're going to have to take a little closer look at. We might have to take out a little more than we planned on. So now we'll just cut a new piece for this. We'll vacuum this out. We'll get our new piece stuck in here. And that'll be it. We gotta make a new plug for here. We gotta make 2 plugs here and down the other side. Alright, so now we'll head back over to the shop and cut our plywood, get our plywood all ready. We'll mix up some epoxy. We'll put some thickener in there, put some of the strands in there, make it nice and strong. We'll come back, we'll set the 2 plugs, we'll set this big plug we're putting in here. We'll fill in all of our holes, get this thing all prepped. Then we're gonna go ahead, we'll put our last piece of fiberglass over top of everything, like we did on everything else, and set to put that last piece on. This is going to be wasted anyway. We're going to go ahead and drill our 2 plugs out of it. Okay, you see here we put our plug in. This is all filled in with, it's basically peanut butter. It's thickened resin with some fiberglass in it. So we got all that done. We got the plug in up here. Now our next step is we're going to go ahead and we're going to go over top of everything with the 1708. So you can see we got everything laid out, everything's cut. Mix up some resin and put this on, and then keep going. Okay, so today we're going to be doing is some scribing the flooring. As we're coming into the bow of the boat, we need to make these floorboards fit the hull. So what we're going to do is we're going to scribe those in. Not to be confused with subscribing, which is what you should do to this channel if you haven't already. Let me show you what we're doing. What we have is a rounded part of the hull, as you can see, and we have a square board. So we're going to make a pencil mark here and cut this, and then we'll be able to actually slide this whole piece into the hull, make our marks on the other side, and we'll be able to scribe it over there. Okay, so you can see our mark. For this, we're just going to use a regular jigsaw. Make sure you have the position so that you're not going to cut the hull. Now we did is, that's the side we cut over here. Now over here, you can see we got a little bit hanging over. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure how much we need to take off. We'll slide this over and set our scribe up, and we'll go ahead and scribe it against the inside. So we're actually gonna scribe it against the inside of this. You can see I've marked all my bulkhead fittings. I've marked where my open wires are. This is all going to get covered once we put the rub rail back on. Mark the bulkhead here, and then right here we marked where our open wires are. So this is where our tube is going to be. This right here will be where our console is going to be. So you see it's getting getting there. So let's go ahead and finish scribing this up. So we'll start with making a mark right here. And then we're going to push this out. So that we have the spacing that we want right here. Okay, so you can see this is the area we're going to cut off, but we're going to cut it off on this side, the opposite side. Now, the reason we transferred this point over, this is the point where we're going to start at this end. See if we can set these up. We're just going to use a compass here, and we're going to hold this as perpendicular to the hole as we can. This is pretty rough. Gives us a pretty good idea where our cut line is going to be. Now, we're not worried about this being a perfect cut because we're filling all this in with the epoxy bedding compound that we're using. What that's going to do is that's going to give us not only a surface on the bottom to CO2, but a surface up the side to CO2 as well. So these will be sealed on two sides. We don't want these popping loose. So that's it. Now we'll go ahead and set this up and cut it. There you have it. This will get all filled in, and this is ready. Before we glue this down, we're going to flip this thing over, and we're going to coat the back. So we'll do that next. We'll coat this with some of our resin just to give it a little bit of waterproofing, and we're ready to go. one, because this curve is so big, our compass just did not go far enough. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to do this a little different. We're going to take into account the thickness of our hole, and we're just going to go ahead and make a mark right around this, reflecting that. This way we can have a little bit of a guideline as to where we're going to have our cut. So that'll actually create the cut line. There it is. Now all we got to do is we'll coat the bottom, cut our biscuits out on these two, and put them in. We got the floor in just in time because this is what moved into the canal behind us. This is blue-green algae, and it stinks like an open septic tank. Basically, we knew this was coming. We had heard other areas had gotten the blue-green algae in the canal. We had been spared because of where our canal is located, but with the wind that you could hear in the video, it was blowing up our canal, so it blew this all in our canal. And it took probably about a month before that finally got to the point where I could even stand and work on the boat. So there's a little bit of time when we couldn't be out there. It just it was unhealthy to smell this stuff. But we did get the floor down before that happened, and we're going to move on next video. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video, and we will see you on the next one.